We are in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Welcome to Pittsburgh.
Today on America's Next Great Trainer, we're in Pittsburgh where Rob Fletcher is talking to Gary Udet, chairman of the NPC Mid-Atlantic Zone.
And sometimes as a trainer, we actually need to hold them back and have them train smarter instead of harder.
And I speak to Olympic gold medalist Anna Tunnicliffe and how training has changed her life.
I found CrossFit, I fell in love with it and used it for my training towards the Olympics, and kind of want to share that joy and the intensity of the training with other athletes out there.
That and much more coming on today's episode of ANGT TV, America's Next Great Trainer. Now from Pittsburgh, here's Rob Fletcher.
Hi, Rob Fletcher here with ANGT TV. We are in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at Fitness Fanatics, right here in Pittsburgh with the one and only Gary Udet. Gary, welcome.
Pleasure.
It's a pleasure being here with you. But Gary, what first introduced you into this world of health fitness, leading you to a key player in the NPC?
Typically I was involved in high school sports, and there were actually a lot of people in my family that were not healthy. So that was going to go either way. I was either going to become like them or not, and I chose not to be. Choices. You bet. You make choices. And then as a high school athlete, the next thing I was looking for something to do. And working out in the gym became the next thing to do, and then learning nutrition and figuring that whole thing out. And before long, some of the housewives in the gym were asking for help in getting in shape, because a bunch of us were former athletes and we were in shape, and they said, so how do you do this?
How do you get there?
Exactly. So all we did actually was use the same process we were using, which was good nutrition, smart training, backed off on the intensity, and we were personal trainers before there actually were personal trainers.
Leading to the importance of the trainer in society.
Exactly.
But how important do you think the trainer is in society?
It's probably the most important thing, because day in and day out people make the wrong choices on how to eat, how to train. More often than not, we find that they overtrain or they undereat in the pursuit of their goals. We see it all the time, where their drive to be better works against them. And sometimes as a trainer, we actually need to hold them back and have them train smarter instead of harder.
Smarter, not harder. So many factors come into play when training clients. Trainers have an impact across the board, whether the goal is to lose 20, 30, 50 or more pounds, or taking that high school athlete to a goal of maybe achieving a collegiate scholarship to become a professional ball player. Whatever that goal is, trainers make it happen. They make the goal, together you make the plan, but the credibility of the trainer. Do you find that there's a lot of issues out there with trainers that may not be as credible teaching or training clients?
Well, it's a huge issue, because there's a lack of safety involved first and foremost. And unfortunately, we see it all the time, where people are making mistakes, pushing people too hard, using a cookie cutter method many times, thinking that more weights create stronger muscles, when in fact they often create more injuries. Having people underfed so that they're trying to lose weight, when in fact they should probably be eating more in order to lose more body fat. So the mistakes are rampant, and a credible trainer can go a long way towards affecting that.
There really is a science behind the training. You know,
there's a real way to do this.
We spoke about a very serious issue that we face today is among our youth, and you and I are both very passionate about addressing our youth today. Obesity is a huge issue with adults, teens, and kids, but the two factors that we both know, one impacts the other, is obesity and bullying. It seems today that many of the trainers are now training, or parents are actually reaching out to the trainers to help their kids overcoming their weight issue, which ultimately impacts their lives on how they think, how they feel, which ultimately will impact the end result of whether or not they're being or becoming a victim of bullying. How much of an impact do you think the trainer has in our youth today?
The trainers have a huge impact. And in many times, it may even be in the fact that it's the trainer giving the message and not the parent. I have trainers who are friends of mine who tell their kids what to do, but the message gets lost in the dynamics of the parent-child. So they call me and go, "You got to train this kid," because they'll listen to you, they won't listen to me. So I give it to them in a matter-of-fact fashion, and they listen because now it's a different dynamic than it is from their parents. So the trainer is preeminent in this whole thing because they can give you the right information and impart it in such a way that it's not browbeating. And then once you get someone going on the right track and you create that self-esteem, it's amazing what that, it's a life-changing experience for someone.
Huge. Self-esteem. Self-esteem. It just seems like the kids today, you know, we both know, very sedentary with all the things, especially the technology, the devices. They almost lose, or they do lose, that real physical interaction, not only with their peers, but also with their family members. But some advice from you, what parents could do to really just start implementing a really healthy meal program for their kids.
Sometimes the problem is that the parents, what we've seen is many times the parents have to have a food issue in them to give good information to the kids. Because many times the parents are the problem. A mom comes to me and says, he'll eat a loaf of bread a day. And my question is, well, who permits that? How does that take place?
Exactly.
He's eating way too much sugar and candies throughout the day and cookies and cakes. And my question is, well, why is that in the home? And she said, well, my husband enjoys that stuff. I said, well, unless you have it under lock and key, that's going to become an issue. So maybe sometimes it takes a village to take care of a child. And it takes the whole family to jump in and create that healthy atmosphere. Sometimes that's the problem.
I'm Rob Fletcher with ANGT TV. We are with Gary Udit here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at Fitness Fanatics. We'll be right back.
This is Sarah Mohsin, host of ANGT TV. We're here today at the Columbus, Ohio Arnold Sports Festival.
For us, the Arnold Classic has always been a means to promote health and fitness around the world.
Every year something new and exciting happens, and I'm having a great time today.
It's awesome. I've met a lot of cool people.
What do you think of it so far?
Oh, I love it. It's great.
It's my first time here, and I'm really enjoying it.
When I started powerlifting, I said I wanted to be able to qualify for the Arnold, and I actually did it this year, so it's an accomplishment for me.
We're so honored to have Governor Schwarzenegger to co-host this with us.
Get up, wake up, lift weights, America.
You can be in the best shape of your life at 40, 46 years old. You can do it.
You know, how do you motivate somebody who's 130 pounds overweight?
We all require a mentor or a coach at one time or another. If fitness and health is your passion, follow it.
And the personal trainer can make a lot of difference.
I just feel like my life has changed.
I don't ever want to be average at anything.
It's a big, big deal to me.
New school techniques with old school attitude.
Get up, wake up, move America.
Get up, wake up, and move America.
Getting it done, working hard, discipline, hard work ethic, sweat. Choose to live positive, healthy, fit, confident, and strong.
Get up, wake up, move America.
Tune in to ANGT TV.
ANGT TV.
Join me to see who will be America's next great trainer.
ANGT TV.
The name of the book is called The Gift Is You. It really is all about an imprint that people make on each person's life. Wanted to just share stories, great stories of extraordinary people. A lot of who I am are bits and pieces of the people that have invested the time to share their stories in The Gift Is You. I have Glenn Meekum, who started my radio career, invited me to his radio show. I have Pat Williams, he's battling cancer and he's an NBA Hall of Famer. David Kilgore, who gave me my first internship, been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize and a human rights activist. Sharon Skittle, who has helped me through my health and wellness.
You are unlimited in yourself and you can do anything you choose if you choose, and now I have learned, if you choose and work at it.
Sarah Warner has been my trainer for the last 4 years and helped me reach my goals.
Once you set a goal, then you can create a plan to accomplish that goal. So that's a big part of my life, will be part of this chapter, and should be a part of everyone's life.
I have Jeff Dugan, who has worked with me as well as a producer with Sarah Warner, my trainer, and has put together the Fox TV fitness show.
So when she put us together, it just gelled well, and with this book, this information that's coming out in this book, it's just going to be great for everybody to read.
I was so honored when Sarah asked me to write a chapter in her book, The Gift Is You, because as a filmmaker, I believe every person has a story in their life. And how true do you stay to that story with the vision that you have for your life and your family or your business, I think is so critical. So I share some of my personal experiences, both the shortfalls and the victories that I've had in my chapter of the book.
You know, Pat Ryan is the general manager of the Massachusetts Salem Station, so she is writing a chapter as well about faith and family. ANGT, America's Next Great Trainer. Now here's Anna Tunnicliffe.
I'm with Anna Tunnicliffe, and she's an Olympic gold medalist, and I just wanted to share with you your beautiful space, as well as with Kevin, who's the co-owner of CrossFit, as well as the cycle studio that you have. Can you share a little bit about the space?
Yeah, so when we first came up with this idea, we wanted to open a big CrossFit gym, and we started CrossFit Mount Lebanon here and got this fabulous space. And then we wanted to expand from there and try and offer more than just CrossFit. So we opened, you know, the indoor cycling studio and a yoga studio with some other high-intensity classes. And we just wanted to build like a fitness community, kind of almost a fitness mecca.
Right, it is. I love it. And it's kind of midtown because you don't expect it, because there's this Miami feel to it, this kind of New York mode. There's a lot of movement because there's stuff that you can do. There's row fit, there's cycle, there's CrossFit. And you're not only an Olympic gold medalist, but you're also a CrossFit competitor.
Yeah, so we wanted to offer as much as we could to any sort of athlete. You know, like I said, we started with CrossFit, but CrossFit's not for everybody. So we wanted to bring in and have options for anybody out there that wanted to get a good workout in. And and then for me, like I found CrossFit, I fell in love with it and used it for my training towards the Olympics. And you know, and kind of want to share that joy and the intensity of the training with other athletes out there.
Right, and so it's not only the athletes, but we were talking a little bit about the kids program that you offer, which is really cool, I think. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we offer 3 kids classes from different age range, starting CrossFit Kids for the younger kids, and then the preteens and the teens. And really it's about getting the kids moving, getting them to appreciate fitness. There's no competitiveness in it, it's just about them learning how their body moves, getting them to move correctly, so that they grow up with a healthy lifestyle.
I mean, true entrepreneurs, because you just opened this facility up, right?
Yeah, we opened up 2.5 years ago, I think.
Did you? And how did you find sort of the movement with being that it is kind of different space? It's exciting because it's also very unique in the way you have the memberships, because you don't really have memberships. You just have people who can come in and do the classes or do packages, right?
Yeah, you can do packages over at Mecca. In CrossFit, we do have monthly memberships, but we don't require contracts. You know, we want you to come in and we want you to be here. We don't want to lock you into anything. So if you're not happy, you know, we don't want you to be forced to do something you don't want to do. But this whole thing came about, you know, with Kevin and Mandy and with our other owner, Brad, too. Mm-hmm. Basically, Kevin and Brad put their heads together and built this. And then I came in afterwards and started helping out. And
Well, you're always very humble. So I think it's so important to share your story because you're a pro athlete and your drive and focus towards obviously the new year and your plans. I know you're coaching other brilliant athletes who are going to try out for the Olympics.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, I was very fortunate growing up. I had a lot of help from very generous people offering me coaching, helping me, inspiring me along the way. And, now I want to start giving that back. I'm working with, individually, I'm working with 2 athletes that are trying to go for the Olympic trials in sailing in January and February. And then, just working with other athletes that have goals, that want to compete one day or are currently competing, want to get better, and sharing like the fitness side of it along with like the mental side of training and competitions, and just trying to help them out as much as I can.
You do a lot of community work as well. You do a lot of charities. You speak at events. People speak very highly of you. I think that that's so important. You're very kind, and that's important because life is a team sport. I always say that, and we all have to come together and make sure that we can share in the gift that we have so that everyone else can kind of be built up as well. So can you share with us one of your favorite charities, or if there's one, it's really hard to say a favorite, but one that you're...
It's really hard. One of my big things is I just really like trying to inspire kids, and particularly girls, to try and like achieve their goals and not be afraid of like backing down or this is a boys' sport or stuff like that. Like I want them to go out and achieve their goals, and whether it's be in sports or in, maybe they want to be great musicians or good, great business people, like whatever it is, I want to try and help them like achieve that goal and realize that they can and that nothing's impossible.
Who was your mentor? Everyone has one. As we say in America's Next Great Trainer, we start from somewhere.
Yeah.
And who would you say inspired you towards the sport?
I'd say I had a few people that I looked up to and was inspired by. Obviously, I had great parents. They really kind of set the path for me. Never gave me anything easy. I always had to work for everything and made me do what I had to do to achieve my goals. It was never, hand-fed to me. So a lot of like the drive and discipline came from them. But then there's a great sailor from Brazil. His name's Robert Scheidt, who is a phenomenal sailor. And I just thought it was amazing how well he did in sailing all the time. And I was like, I want to be like him one day. And, I'm still not nearly as good as he is, but he's a top-notch sailor. So he was my sailing inspiration. Along with Ellen MacArthur was one of the leading women in sailing as I was growing up. And so seeing her go out and do, I guess, what the guys do was quite motivating. And then since I've gotten to CrossFit, Brad, my coach and boyfriend, has been a huge kind of inspiration to help me continue pushing and continue trying to get better and achieve more and more goals.
When we return, Rob Fletcher concludes his interview with Gary Udid, Chairman, NPC Mid-Atlantic Zone. More from Pittsburgh on America's Next Great Trainer.
You can be in the best shape of your life at 40, 46 years old. You can do it.
How do you motivate somebody who's 130 pounds overweight?
We all require a mentor or a coach at one time or another. If fitness and health is your passion, follow it.
And the personal trainer can make a lot of difference.
I just feel like my life has changed.
I don't ever want to be average in anything.
It's a big, big deal to me.
New school techniques with old school attitude.
Get up, wake up, move America.
Get up, wake up, and move America.
Getting it done, working hard, discipline, hard work ethic, sweat. Choose to live positive, healthy, fit, confident, and strong.
Get up, wake up, move America.
Tune in to ANGT TV.
ANGT TV.
Join me to see who will be America's Next Great Trainer.
ANGT TV.
America's Next Great Trainer. Now here's Rob Fletcher with Gary Udit.
Key points, Gary Udit. Very much appreciated, and the viewers at home, I hope they're taking this in if you're a trainer, and also if you're looking to get trained by a trainer. Key words here, we're looking into the lifestyle of the individual. Everyone is different. You know, how many times, I'm sure you see it all the time, where a trainer just goes through the motions, as opposed to really trying to connect. You know, what do you do day to day? Because that's so important, is that activity that they're doing, or what they're putting their bodies through, not only their bodies, but their minds, mentally, the stress and the fatigue.
We have to make the program fit their life, because if they come in and they ask, how are you to get me to that level? My question to them is, how much time can you actually invest in this per day? Can you give me 30 minutes? Would you like to be here an hour? How much time can you invest? Now let's talk about your eating. And you know, this can be done without starvation. Let's set, what kind of things do you like to eat? Because I'm not going to give you a paper that says eat egg whites if you're never going to eat egg whites. Let's see what you're doing now. What kind of things do you like to eat, and make it work for you?
Let's talk about sports performance. The high school athlete, the parent, their kid's very excited about sports. They want to go to the next level, or maybe they want to play sports and they need that extra bit of help to actually make the team. Trainer in regard to sports performance and taking the client to the next level.
It's you touched the nerve, because it's a difficult scenario. Here's why. Most teams now have a strength trainer involved with that team. And many times, as being a part of the team, they dictate that you must train with the team. I've got fathers coming to me all the time with their sons, and they say, can you train him correctly? And when I ask them what their schedule is during the week, they're already weight training 5 times a week.
So you don't want to contradict.
So not only do I not want to contradict, I also don't want to overtrain. Because you see someone getting overtrained, there's an injury coming. There's obviously a correct way to do it. So on those occasions when I have the opportunity to train an athlete, it's the exact same thing.
Overtraining.
When I have the chance to train them, if they're not involved, maybe it's an off season and they can train with me because they're not under obligation, then what a home run, because you can take this athlete and you can mold him. And a key again is not overtraining. It's got to be smart training. We're back to keeping the joints safe, and the tendons and ligaments and the tie-ins, they got to be safe. Bigger weights don't create bigger muscles all the time, they create injuries. So it's something that we get to customize with an athlete.
One of the things you just hit on, injuries, overcoming injuries, because obviously the high school athlete or the professional athlete, the coaches, they want to be out in that field as fast as possible in a very safe and effective way. The communication between the physician treating the patient, the physical therapist, and the trainer, that triangle.
Incredibly important. Got to have contact with the doc. And many times as the athlete comes in, I say, okay, put me in touch with your doc. I need to talk to the doc and the PT guy and whatever physical trainer is involved, because there's certain things I'm sure they have a plan. It's not just going to go off without a plan. So we need to know what not to do. Generally, the question is, what should we not do?
How often do you think that's overlooked, where the trainer has no communication with the physical therapist and doctor?
Constantly, because they either don't reach out, they think my way's better. While my way may be better, it's got to work as a whole part of the big picture.
Which in the long run benefits everybody.
Absolutely, because they have a plan, or they have ideas about getting those tendons back conditioned. Before we ever do any kind of positive exercise, let's get the tendons reconditioned.
And one actually does what the other cannot do.
Absolutely.
It's critical, you know, people understanding that it really does become a question of life or death many, many times.
You can add years to your life, and it doesn't have to be difficult. With the help of a great trainer, they can make it doable. You know, some cardio, smart weight training, smart choices with your eating, smart choices. I go out all the time to eat. I take clients out constantly. No problem. The restaurants will cook it the way you want to cook it. Tell them what you want. Let's make smart choices at the restaurant. It can be done. Doesn't have to be hard.
Let's talk about your phenomenal background with the NPC and promoter of so many events. And, you know, as we were just speaking earlier, just in awe of how you manage all that you do. But let's go with how many events and what events are you managing and promoting for the NPC?
Well, you know, I'm lucky, like you said, we're in Pittsburgh, which means I've been under the guidance of Jim Mannion for longer than I'd like to say.
Incredible man.
So I learned from the best. And he always told me, take care of the athletes first. Without them, we have nothing. And then he taught me how to promote events. You cover every detail. The detail you don't cover will make you look like an idiot. So cover every detail and take care of the athletes and provide customer service at every turn. And I put that into play. So we do events on the regional level, and we do events on the national level, and now we're international. We just had 1,500 athletes at the Sheraton Station Square. So incredible.
What would you like to see happen, or do you have a vision of where you would like the NPC to go from here? Because it's so big, as you said, it's global.
Well, Jim under Jim's guidance, he has created now a situation where we have competitions for every body type, and it's brought in a whole different group of fans. It's also given us a chance to bring in a whole different group of sponsors. Companies are now seeing that it's a very healthy lifestyle that we're promoting. The next thing I think we'd like to address is a lot of things with kids. We'd like to get into, because obesity, as you spoke about, is such a problem, we'd like to get into some more things that address kids one way or another to get them involved. Some nutritional stuff, some exercise. There's a lack of exercise in the schools.
So education, back to what we said earlier.
It's everything.
That's awesome.
We teach them, they're like sponges. We've taught, when we teach kids fitness classes at the age of 5, they're like sponges. You tell them something, it goes in. They remember it. And they're going home and throwing out pretzels because Gary said so.
You're exactly, going to an authority, and it's just the fact that reinforcement, and also they're hearing it from someone else. So in many cases, because they're hearing it from someone else, it becomes credible.
There's ways to set up exercises for kids that they don't even know they're exercising. They're jumping over boxes and they're doing stuff like that. They're just having fun. Meanwhile, they're burning calories and working muscles and getting stronger.
These are some of the things that will be implemented at future possible events.
There's so many tack-ons that we can do. So believe me, we're exploring everything.
Just wanted to thank everyone for joining us and sharing in all the fun stuff that we have here going on. Fitness, fun, and all of the fabulous studios that we covered in Pittsburgh. And we're going to be sharing so much more with ANGT TV, America's Next Great Trainer.